Good morning, Pioneers. I'm here with the Director of Theater, Mrs. Madison Plouvier. All right,
Okay.
so starting off, what got you into theater?
I got into theater like how most high school students get into theater. I had a really awesome theater teacher in my high school. His name is Mr. John Copeland, and he pestered me one year when I was in his acting 1 class. He said, hey, you should audition for the show. The show that year was Wizard of Oz, so I immediately was like, absolutely not. You just want me to be the munchkin? I'm not doing it. This is mean. This is bullying. He was like, no, just trust me. Audition, see what happens. And I auditioned. I fell in love with it. I was not a munchkin. But yeah, and that just kind of like ignited the fire for theater, and I've done theater ever since.
Who'd you play?
I was Dorothy.
You're Dorothy? So, do you pester kids into getting into theater?
Absolutely.
I mean, you just did it to me.
I just did it to you out in the hallway, yeah. So I'm not crazy when I say, like, I know and I can see who would like fit and work really, really well. And it's not for everyone, but there are a ton of kids who would really, really thrive in theater. I think what happens a lot of the times is people see like the stereotypes that are depicted in movies and TV shows and things like that. And theater kids get the rep of like the really weird kids. And that's just not true. Yes, there's some of us who are pretty weird. But that's like with every, activity. Like that's like saying every single person who plays sports is dumb. It's just not true. And so I think sometimes people need a little bit of a nudge or a push to join theater. And then as soon as they join, they see how fun it is and they have such a good time that they come back for more. Every year I have kids who audition for their senior show, and they say, Ms. Plouvier, I wish I would have done this my freshman year. I wish I would have done this for longer. So I'm constantly pestering kids to join theater.
So, when you did do theater, you did The Wizard of Oz. What other plays did you do in high school?
Oh, in high school?
Yeah.
I've done Midsummer Night's Dream. I did Hello, Dolly. I did, You Can't Take It With You, which we're doing now. Did A Christmas Carol, which we did this year. I did The Man Who Came to Dinner. Oh, and I did Bye Bye Birdie.
Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah.
What else? Like, did you do it in college? What?
I did. So I went to college at Kansas State University. Go Cats, Elite 8, just saying. And I was in the theater program there, at first I majored in acting, and so I was in a whole bunch of productions. A couple of them were pilot productions, meaning it was the first ever written and first ever cast. So in like the book scripts, I'm in a couple of those as like the original cast, which is pretty cool. And then I took a directing class my junior year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to like boss people around and like tell other people what to do. This is awesome. So then I switched to directing my junior year. And then my senior year, I started working at a theater camp, bossing even more people around, but at a younger age, ages pre-K through 12th grade. And we did 6 shows in 3 weeks. And I just fell in love with it, and that's when I was like, oh, I should be a teacher. And so that's kind of like how my journey progressed.
So, you talked about this theater camp and like sparking you forward. What plays did you do there?
Oh, we've done a whole ton. We've done like Legally Blonde. We've done Aida. We write original for the little ones. We write original plays and musicals, teaching them like the one I wrote with another girl was called Fish Say Please, and it's a whole bunch of fish learning to use their manners. Like it's just like weird kooky stuff. But the older kids do like actual musicals. Like we did Seussical, we did Newsies 2 years ago, Legally Blonde, bigger name musicals.
Of those, what's your favorite? Like, what's the favorite play you've ever produced here or at the theater camp?
Okay, so my favorite play I think I've ever produced was here, and it was last year, and it was Puffs. Just because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm Team Slytherin all the way. And it was so much fun to go through all 7 years of Hogwarts, but through the Hufflepuff perspective, and just kind of play with that. And I think it was different than what our audiences have ever seen before, especially since it was my first year here last year, directing theater plays. I think it was really refreshing to handle something a little bit more mature, and it got really, really good reviews. People loved it, and it was so much fun.
So is our theater program open to like everyone, like anyone can come in and watch?
Oh yeah. So in the school-wide, I like to call our program an all-inclusive program. So especially like for the musical, if you audition for the musical, there's a 95% chance you're getting cast and you will be part of that show, whether it be tech side or acting side. The only reason you wouldn't is if like your conflict sheet on the days you can't come is literally every single day or something like that. So I really emphasize all-inclusive, everyone is welcome, everyone has a place, and then process over product. So I really try and emphasize like, yes, we need to be hitting our marks, and yes, we need to be doing the parts correctly, but also making sure we're building kindness, we're building leadership, we're building respect for one another, things like that. And then for the community, yeah, you can buy tickets online, so you do have to pay a ticket to get in, but it's free for everyone to come see more than once if you're really willing. And yeah, it's a good time.
All right, and so you've done high school level theater, you've done college level theater. Did you do anything outside of that?
I've done a couple community productions. Like there's Shawnee Mission Theater in the Park, which is kind of like where I grew up, so I'm really close with that area. But once I started working here, like right out of college, I actually did my student teaching here, and then got hired immediately. And I was like busy from the get-go, so I haven't done community theater acting since I've graduated, but I have done community theater directing with that summer camp. And I'm currently in my MFA program right now. I'm a student as well through Mississippi University for Women, and I'm getting my MFA in theater education with an emphasis in theater directing. And so I have to take like acting classes, playwriting classes, things. So I'm still acting on like the student side as well.
Mm-hmm. So what's the biggest difference between the levels? So like the level between high school, college, and then community production?
I think with the lowest level would probably be high school in terms of like showing up with outside homework. So when you do a high school production, if I teach you something, I'm going to expect you to go home and kind of review it, but I'm not going to expect you to have it like fully memorized to perfection by the time we come back. Whereas in a collegiate level, in a community level, like that's the expectation, is you review it once and you have it to completion the next time you do it. But once again, we're really focusing on like that we are a high school troupe, that you guys have 8 classes of homework to do outside of, just this. So there's quite a big difference, but if I know a student is going to go into theater when they're going to college, I do kind of prepare them for that. I'm like, hey, this is what they're going to expect. Here's what you need to do. I get them a resume, a headshot, and an audition booklet ready. So I'm not like throwing them to the wolves, but it's a little bit different.
So Hamilton has had a big effect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it'll have an effect coming into Kansas City? Will it affect the community around there?
I'm hoping the community, when Hamilton comes to Kansas City, realizes that theater doesn't have to be a rich person thing. Mm-hmm. So way back, it was like a thing of the privileged to go to theater, to dress up and go to the theater. That was the thing, and it's not like that anymore. Like you can get nosebleeds for a pretty like good deal, and it could be for anybody. Like the theater and theater musicals and theater stories are about the human condition. It is watching humans be humans. And I think that's just a cool thing. If you go to the movies and watch the Avengers, you're partaking in theater. Like you're watching someone act. It's the same thing. But theater is special, and you get to like live and breathe with the people in the same room. You get to feel the feelings and the emotions with someone sitting right next to you, and that actor is like living right there, feeling it real time. And it's never going to be the same way again, right? That performance is happening once with the same audience, with that same feeling, and then it goes away. So it's kind of more special than watching a movie. And so I'm hoping what happens is people recognize Hamilton because they saw it on Disney Plus or something. They get the guts to go to a theater, see a show, and then realize that, hey, theater is actually pretty cool, and it can be really beautiful, and it can be really fun. And then hopefully they catch that bug and they start seeing other things that maybe they're not so familiar with. Because the Kansas City Broadway League comes they do like 5 or 6 shows every single year. And there's lots of things to see, like Mamma Mia's coming, Aladdin's coming, Clue on stage is coming. So I'm hoping that Hamilton kind of gets people who are uncomfortable about theater to go see things. Because I'm really hoping that we get back to active audienceship. Like, I'm really missing the human connection that people have with one another, and like watching, I'm just gonna use a cliche reference, but like watching Romeo and Juliet die together, like, yeah, it's overdone a little bit, but watching that happen next to someone and then you both feeling that like tense moment together, it does something to you. It's beautiful. It makes you think about the world. And just sitting there like scrolling on TikTok or Netflix or whatever, it's passive. You're not feeling things as deeply as you would in the theater. And I'm really hoping maybe we can get back to that, because, and I hope you agree, but looking at the world around us, we're really missing human connection.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm Joaquin Davila. This is Pioneer Perspective, signing out.
Bye.